Hey guys, when you think of the Middle Ages, your brain probably jumps to Hollywood's version. Kings throwing lavish feasts in golden halls, gallant generals charging into battle, or maybe those grim tales of peasants and maids slaving away under cruel lords. At worst, you're picturing the nasty stuff, medieval food that's half rotten, or bathrooms that are basically open sewers. But today we're tossing all those scripts out the window, because what we're diving into is way wilder and a whole lot rougher. Why? Because at least those stories still let you be human, with a shot at a warm bed or a scrap of dignity. Today, you're not so lucky. You're just a dog. Yup, a dog. A scrappy, flea-bitten stray scratching out a living in the muddy, stinking streets. So, smash that like button if you're ready for some raw medieval dog vibes, subscribe for more gritty tales, and drop a comment with your city and the time. I'm stoked to see where this story scampers. Now, stoke the fire, dim the lights, and let's hit the grimy alleys. Congratulations! You have just woken up in the year 1325 in a town called Yorkshire, southern England. Good news? You're alive and you've got a brain sharper than a butcher's blade, or so you keep barking to yourself. Bad news? You're a stray dog, a wiry mutt with a scruffy brown coat that's more mud than fur, fighting to survive in a bustling market town. Your bed's a soggy pile of straw tucked behind a butcher's stall, reeking of old blood and crawling with fleas. The air's like a gut punch, cow dung, rotten fish, and the sour stench of humans shuffling through the nearby market. Your ribs poke through your fur, a scar on your flank itches from a fight last week, and your paws ache from dodging carts and boots. You stretch, joints creaking like a tavern sign in a storm, and shake off the dirt caked on your legs. The market's waking up, vendors shouting, wheels rattling, church bells clanging like they're out for blood. Time to hustle, you clever cur. Your life's one endless grind, and you're the slickest hustler in Yorkshire. Or at least, that's the tale you tell yourself to keep going. No warm kennel, no bowl of scraps waiting, no human cooing good boy while scratching your ears. To the townsfolk, you're a filthy cur, more likely to catch a kick than a crust. But in your head, you're the king of the alleys, a furry bandit dodging trouble and sniffing out deals like a medieval mastermind. Your days are a chaotic blur of scavenging, scheming, and staying one paw ahead of danger. Let's dive deep into your world, from the trash heaps you call home to the battles you fight for every bite and every grimy, gritty detail in between. Where do you crash? It's a rotating lineup of hideouts, each with its own mix of risk and reward. Your favourite's that damp pile of straw behind the butcher's stall. It's not exactly a feather bed, stinks of blood and buzzes with fleas, but it's prime real estate steps from food. You curl up there most nights, nose tucked under your tail, ears twitching for trouble. When the butcher's apprentice, a pimply kid with a mean broom, gets too aggressive, you pivot to a muddy ditch by the tavern. It's cold and reeks of ale and worse, but it's hidden, perfect for licking wounds or dodging dog catches. Another go-to's a creaky cart near the churchyard, quiet but risky when priests patrol. You've got backups too, a hollow under a bridge where you weathered a thunderstorm once, or a crate in an alley where you stashed a bone for a week. Each spot's a gamble, too open and you're dodging boots, too cozy and another dog's already claimed it. You sleep light, always ready to bolt. Last winter you hit gold, a barn with a hay pile so warm you forgot your hunger for a night, but the farmer's pitchfork sent you running, a nick on your tail as a souvenir. Lesson learned. No hideouts forever. You've got a mental map of safe spots, and you're always scouting new ones, because the streets don't be trusted. Food's your obsession, your whole reason for waking up. You're a scavenging genius, but the pickings are rough. The butcher's stall is your holy grail, slimy bits of offal, gristle, or, if the stars align, a warm chunk of fat. Trouble is, the apprentice guards it like a dragon, his brooms swinging at anything furry. You slink around, belly low, waiting for him to get distracted, flirting with a fishmonger's daughter, or yelling at a kid swiping a sausage. That's your moment. You dart in, snatch a scrap and bolt, his curses and broom hot on your tail. That first bite, bloody, chewy, maybe a bit rank, is pure triumph. You scarf it in an alley before another dog sniffs you out. Last month you nabbed a pig's ear, crunchy and greasy, and hid it under a crate, savouring it for days. It's still your benchmark for bliss. The baker's stall's your next stop. The baker's softer than most, slipping you a burnt rye crust when no one's watching. You hit him with your sad puppy eyes, tail wagging just enough to sell it without looking desperate. On good days, you score a hunk of bread hard as a brick, but worth the jaw workout. On bad days, it's a "Scram, mutt!" and a hand wave. You don't take it personally. Humans are moody. You weave through the market, dodging boots and cartwheels, grabbing anything dropped. A wedge of cheese, a mushy apple, a fish head with one creepy eye staring. Once you stole a sausage from a vendor's cart, the smoky flavour so good you still chase that high. Most days, though, it's scraps. Veggie peels, cartilage, or stale porridge scraped from a tavern bowl. Your stomach's always growling, like it's got a personal vendetta. You've learned to eat fast, because hesitation means losing your meal to a rival or a rat. You've got other food tricks up your furry sleeve. The tavern's trash pile is your buffet. Fish bones, soggy bread, maybe a chunk of mutton if you're lucky. You sneak in at dusk when the place is rowdy, digging like it's a treasure hunt. Last summer, you scored a half-eaten chicken leg, greasy and perfect, and guarded it like a king. The churchyard's another spot. Pilgrims sometimes drop bread or cheese, thinking they're pious, but you're the one saying grace. You've even tailed fish carts, hoping for a spill. Once, a cart tipped, and you ate till you waddled, dodging humans scrambling for the same haul. Every bite's a win, but it's never enough. Hunger's your shadow, always one step behind. First is a relentless enemy, a nagging beast that claws at your throat harder than hunger ever could. In this Yorkshire market town of 1325, water is scarce and rarely clean, a precious resource you fight for as fiercely as food. The town's ditches and streams are your only sources, but they're vile, muddy, slimy, reeking of whatever filth the tavern or tanner's dumped upstream. You lap up the murky liquid, wincing at its bitter, metallic tang, each swallow a gamble. You know it might twist your gut, make you retch, or worse, but thirst will kill you faster than bad water. Your tongue scrapes the surface, pulling in grit and slime, and you force it down, eyes darting for danger. Sometimes you stumble on a puddle of spilled ale outside the tavern, its sharp, fizzy bite strange on your tongue. It's not water, but it warms your belly. A fleeting comfort that dulls the ache for a moment, so you take it, ignoring the odd buzz it leaves in your head. Milk. That's a distant memory, a pup's dream tied to your mama's warmth. Gone forever when you were torn from her side. You've learned to drink fast, head low, body tense, because lingering by water is an invitation for trouble. Last summer you got cocky by a stream, lapping too long, and a stray's claw raked your shoulder before you could react. The gash burned for days, a lesson in vigilance. Now you're sharper, always scanning your back, ears pricked for the faintest rustle of a rival. You've scouted a few decent spots over time, each one a hard-won secret. There's a trickle under a stone bridge, hidden by weeds where the water's almost clean. Less mud, less stink, though it's barely enough to wet your muzzle. You visit at dawn, when the town's still groggy, slipping through shadows to avoid fights. Another spot's a barrel leak by the tavern, where rainwater mixes with ale, dripping slow and steady. It's risky, too close to human traffic, but on dry days it's a lifeline, and you've mastered the art of darting in and out unseen. In desperate moments, you've lapped dew off grass blades at sunrise, each drop a tease that barely soothes your parched throat. You've even tried snow in winter, crunching it between your teeth, but it chills your core and leaves you shivering harder. Thirst is a constant shadow, a nag that never quits, driving you to hunt for anything liquid. You've learned the town's water map, puddles after rain, leaks from carts, the rare, clean stream outside the walls that's guarded by bigger dogs. Each sip's a victory, but it's never enough, and the next dry spell's always looming. You've had close calls with water, too. Once you drank from a ditch too close to the tanner's yard, and the water, thick with chemicals, made you puke for hours, leaving you weak and trembling in an alley. Another time, you fought a rat for a puddle, its teeth grazing your snout before you drove it off. You've seen dogs sicken from bad water, their bellies bloated, eyes dull, collapsing in gutters to be swept away by the next rain. You're not going out like that. You've learned to sniff water before drinking, trusting your nose to catch the worst poisons. And you always move on quick, knowing standing still makes you a target. Thirst shapes your days as much as hunger, a silent threat that keeps you prowling, always searching for the next drop. Where do you handle your business? Wherever you can stake a claim and say, "This is mine." Marking your turf is your way of carving out a piece of this unforgiving town. Alleys, fence posts, the butcher's wall, even the corner of a market stall when no one's looking. You lift your leg with purpose, leaving your scent as a warning to other dogs. Stay away or face me. You pick quiet spots, hidden from human eyes, because nothing says vulnerability like squatting in the open. The churchyard's your favourite, with its soft dirt perfect for scratching, a canvas for your mark. But it's risky. A priest once chased you, waving a stick like he was banishing a demon, his robes flapping and his shouts echoing off the graves. You bolted, tail tucked, and didn't return for weeks. You don't bury your poop, that's for prissy cats who think they're above the streets. You leave it bold and open, a sign that screams, "I'm here, and I'm not scared." The town's already a cesspool, human waste slung from windows, horse dung squashed under carts, rotting food festering in piles, so your contribution's just another layer in the chaos. You're quick, always watching, because squatting's when you're most exposed. Once, a kid caught you mid-act and hurled a rock, grazing your flank. You dodged the next one by inches, learning to be ninja-level fast, picking spots with cover, behind crates, under carts, in narrow alleys where no one sneaks up easy. You've got a system for this too. You mark high traffic zones to assert dominance, like the tavern's back wall where Black Fang prowls, daring him to challenge you. Quiet corners are for relief, places where you can relax your guard just enough to do your business. You avoid human paths during the day, knowing boots and brooms follow, but at night you claim bolder spots, leaving your scent where rivals will find it. You've learned which spots hold your mark longest, stone walls over dirt, dry corners over muddy ones, and you revisit them, reinforcing your claim. It's not just instinct, it's strategy, a way to control your world when so little bends to your will. You've seen dogs fight over marking rights, teeth bared over a single post, and you pick your battles, saving your energy for scraps worth fighting for. Your marks are your flag, planted in a town that wants you gone, and everyone's a quiet rebellion. Your body's a walking war zone, a battered map of every fight, famine and freeze you've endured. Fleas are your uninvited roommates, burrowing into your fur, their bites turning your skin raw from relentless gnawing. You scratch till you bleed, leaving patches of fur thin and scabby, but they never quit, a constant itch that's as much a part of you as your shadow. Lice join the fray, crawling across your scalp, making it feel like a battlefield, each bite a tiny stab. You shake your head, paw at your ears, but they cling like invaders, and you've learned to live with the torment, focusing on survival over comfort. Worms twist in your gut, a dull, gnawing ache you've accepted like a bad neighbour who never moves out. They sap your strength, make every meal feel half stolen, but you push through, knowing weakness isn't an option. Bad water's your curse, those foul ditches have given you the runs more times than you can count, leaving you shaky, hiding in alleys till the sickness passes, your body trembling with effort. You've seen dogs waste away from it, their bodies curling up, left to rot. You're tougher, but you know it's a roll of the dice each time you drink. Your wounds tell their own tales. Once, a cut on your paw festered, swollen and hot, each step agony. You licked it clean through sheer grit, hour after hour, ignoring the bitter taste of pus until it scarred over. You've seen dogs die from cuts like that, infection creeping in, their bodies dumped in ditches by indifferent humans. Last spring, a fight left a gash on your flank that oozed for weeks, a raw stripe that burned with every move. You kept moving, licking, hiding, willing it to heal, and it did, leaving a jagged line you wear like a badge. Your teeth ache from cracking bones, worn from years of grinding through gristle and cartilage, but you guard them, knowing a lost tooth could mean starvation. Your joints creak in the cold, stiff from old fights and endless running, but you stretch and push through, refusing to let pain slow you. Winter's a merciless killer, sinking its teeth into your bones with a chill your thin fur can't fight. You shiver through nights, curled so tight in straw you're a ball of fur, dreaming of warmth you'll never know. Last winter you nearly froze in a ditch, your legs numb, breath fogging in the dark. A kid found you, dragged you to a shed, left a scrap of bread that gave you just enough strength to limp back to the streets. You never saw her again, but you scanned the market for her face, a flicker of hope in your cynical heart. Summer's no mercy either. Mange creeps in, your fur falling out in clumps, leaving scabby, sore skin that itches worse than fleas. Flies swarm your wounds, laying eggs if you're not quick to lick them clean, and the heat turns alleys into ovens, sapping your strength till you're panting in any shade you can find. You've got a limp from a fight, an old gash that stings when rain soaks your fur, a reminder of a brawl you barely walked away from. No humans playing vet. Doctors are for rich folks, not mangy curs like you. You're your own healer, licking cuts till they close, eating grass when your stomach's sour, resting in sun patches when you can steal a moment. You're damn good at it too, a self-taught medic with a PhD in survival. Once, you ate strange leaves by a stream and puked for a day, but it cleared your gut, teaching you which plants help and which hurt. Mud soothes mange, you found, caking it on your sores like a poultice. Certain weeds settle your belly, their bitter taste worth the relief. Sleeping in the sun, you've learned, heals more than you'd think. Its warmth easing aches and drying wounds. Trial and error is your medical school, and every scar's a diploma. You've got other ailments, a catalogue of woes that'd break a lesser dog. Your eyes crossed up in winter, gumming shut, making it hard to spot boots or rivals till they're too close. You paw at them, blinking through pain, knowing blindness is a death sentence. Ticks have burrowed deep, their fat bodies swelling with your blood till you chewed your own fur to rip them out, leaving raw patches that stung for days. Once, you ate something rotten, maybe bad fish from a tavern pile, and retched for days, barely able to crawl, your body racked with spasms. You hid in a crate, praying no one found you, and pulled through by sheer will. You've seen dogs sicken and die, their eyes dull, bodies left in gutters for rats to gnaw. You're not going out like that. You fight every itch, every ache, every fever, knowing one slip could end you. Your resilience is your crown. Earned through every shiver, every scar, every day you wake up, still breathing. The dog scene in town is a furry fight club, a brutal hierarchy where only the tough or cunning survive. Black Fang's the undisputed king, a scarred, hulking brute who rules the tavern scrap pile like a warlord. His growls thunder, deep enough to freeze your blood, and you've got scars from learning that the hard way. Last spring you got too close to his haul, lured by a mutton bone's greasy shine, and he nearly tore your ear off, his jaws snapping inches from your throat. You limped away, tail low, and now you steer clear, picking fights you can win. He's not just strong, he's smart, patrolling his turf with a predator's focus, and you respect that, even as you hate him. Then there's Yapper, the baker's smug terrier, a little pest who barks from the safety of his doorstep while you're out here dodging brooms. His shrill yips grate like a knife on stone, and you'd love to shut him up, but his owner's quick with a stick, and you're not dumb enough to take that hit. The noble lady's lapdogs are the worst, tiny fluffy things carried like jewels, yapping at you from windows or baskets. They eat better than you, their bowls brimming with meat you'd kill for, and it burns, a quiet rage you bury under survival's weight. Other strays are a mixed bag, allies one day, rivals the next. You've run with Red, a skinny gal with rusty fur who's fast as a hare but jumpy as one too. Last summer, you two pulled off a fish heist, snatching a cod from a cart and splitting it in an alley, your jaws working in rare harmony. She's cool, but trust? That's for fools. You'd swipe her share if she blinked too long, and you know she'd do the same. Most strays are just eyes in the dark, their growls meeting yours in a tense standoff. Sometimes it escalates, teeth snap, fur flies, and you're rolling in the mud fighting for a bone or a patch of turf, till one of you limps off. You don't hate him. It's just the game, a brutal dance where food's the prize and only the quick eat. You're known as a scrapper, a dog who doesn't start fights but finishes them. And your rep keeps smaller mutts from testing you. Backfang? You'd rather starve than tangle with him again. Yapper? Maybe one day, if his owner's distracted. Last week, you clashed with a new stray over a bone, a wiry dog with desperate eyes. You came out on top, your teeth on his neck till he yelped, but your flank still sore from his claws. Worth it for the bone's marrow, though. A rare treat you savoured alone. You study your rivals like a general, learning their moves to stay ahead. Black Fang's all power, charging like a bull, no finesse but enough force to crush you. Red's speed, dodging and weaving, striking when you're off guard. Yapper's noise, his barks drawing humans to break up fights before they start. You've learned to counter him. Circle Black Fang to tire him, match Red's quickness. Ignore Yapper till he's alone. Every dog's a puzzle, and you're always solving, always ready for the next clash. You've got a loose pack sometimes, like when you, Red, and a scrawny mutt teamed up to chase off a cat stealing scraps. It was a rare truce, your snarls in sync, but it dissolved once the cat fled, food splits, and everyone's back to solo. You've seen packs form and shatter, dogs turning on each other over a single crust, and you prefer lone wolf life, only teaming up when the haul's big enough. Your social game's as sharp as your scavenging, a delicate balance of alliances and betrayals that's kept you alive in a town where loyalty's a myth. What keeps your tail wagging? It's the small victories, the fleeting moments that light up the grind. A sunny spring day, sprawled under a cart, soaking up heat with no boots or brooms to ruin it, your fur warm and your worries quiet for once. The crunch of a bone, its marrow gooey and rich, a prize you fought for and won, each bite a reminder you're still here. A stolen apple's sweet juice, snatched from a stall, its crisp tang a rare treat that lingers on your tongue. You love running, paws pounding, wind whipping your fur, even if it's just to dodge a vendor's shout, the thrill of speed making you feel untouchable. Chasing rats is your sport, their squeaks a victory anthem, even if you only catch 1 in 10. Last month you nabbed a fat one, its weight satisfying in your jaws, and you paraded it through an alley like a trophy, head high. A kind human's the best gift. The baker's crust, hard but life-saving, tossed with a gruff kindness. A kid's laugh when you wag your tail, her giggle brighter than the sun. The tavern drunk who shares a sausage, his slurred words treating you like a friend. Quiet nights are pure gold, curled up in your straw, the town's chaos hushed, no boots coming to shatter your rest. You're proud of your hustle, grabbing food others miss, outsmarting rivals, surviving when the odds say you shouldn't. You're not just a dog, you're a street legend, a survivor who's beaten the alleys at their own game, and that pride keeps your fire burning. You find joy in the little things, the sparks that keep you from sinking into the grind. The smell of fresh rain washing the street's stench from your fur, leaving you clean for a moment. A warm cobblestone under your belly after a cold night, its heat seeping into your bones like a hug. The thrill of outsmarting a rat or a rival, your brain one step ahead, proving you're the sharpest cur in town. You love watching the market's chaos, humans bumbling, shouting, unaware of the shadow world you rule, their drama a show you observe from the sidelines. Sometimes you just sit, tail thumping against the dirt, savouring a rare moment of peace. The world soft and still, your heart full despite your empty belly. These sparks are your fuel, tiny flames that keep your spirit alive when the streets try to snuff you out. You hoard them like bones, tucking them deep in your memory for the days when hunger and cold feel like they'll win. Humans? They're a riddle wrapped in a stench, loud as a blacksmith's hammer, clumsy as a drunk stumbling out of the tavern, and smelling worse than a ditch in August. Sweat-soaked tunics, sour ale breath, and wool that hasn't seen a wash since the last king's coronation. Most of them are bad news, and you've got the scars to prove it. The butcher's apprentice, a pimply kid with a chip on his shoulder, has a personal vendetta against you. His broom's always ready, swinging like he's training for a joust, and you've dodged it more times than you can count. One time, he clipped your tail, and you yelped loud enough to wake the dead. You steer clear now, but his glare follows you like a hawk tracking a mouse. Noble ladies are even worse. They scare you stiff, their shrill voices slicing through the market like a knife, their whips cracking like lightning when you get too close to their fancy skirt. You've been kicked by their guards, pelted with rocks by their kids, and called filthy mutt so often it might as well be your name. Like you picked this life? Yeah, right. Signed up for the mud and scraps package at some doggy job fair, did I? But not all humans are monsters, and you've learned to spot the diamonds in the dung heap. The baker's got a heart softer than his dough. He slips you burnt rye crusts when his wife's not hawk-eyeing him, his rough hands tossing you a lifeline that's kept you from starving more than once. You give him your best sad puppy stare, tail wagging just enough to tug his heartstrings, and he grumbles but delivers. Those crusts, hard as cobblestones, are your treasure, and you savour every crumb. Then there's the kid with the cheese, a girl no older than 10, with a grin brighter than a summer noon. One spring day she sneaked you a wedge of cheddar when her mum was haggling over carrots. You wolfed it down, its creamy tang a dream you still chase, and her giggle was like music. You linger near her stall now, hoping for another smile, though you know better than to expect more food. The tavern drunk's another soft spot. He's a red-nosed mess, always muttering about lost love or bad bets, but he shares his sausage like you're his best pal. You sit by his boots, head tilted, while he rambles, and sometimes you get a greasy chunk that's pure heaven. His slurred stories are nonsense, but his kindness sticks with you, warming your belly and your spirit. You read humans better than they read each other, and that's your edge. Their faces are like open books, spilling secrets they don't even know they're telling. You see the fear in a vendor's eyes when he haggles too hard, knowing he's short on coin. You spot the greed in a merchant's smirk as he counts his silver, blind to the world beyond his purse. You catch the exhaustion in a maid's slumped shoulders as she trudges home, her basket empty, and her day endless. They're all chasing something. Coin, power, salvation, but they're blind to the world you live in, the one of smells and sounds and truths buried in the dirt. You see their chains, lords who own their labour, churches that demand their souls, hunger that gnaws at their guts just like yours. You pity 'em in your way. They're trapped, same as you, but you're freer. They'll never know the electric rush of snatching a bone from under a cart, or the quiet peace of a starlit alley, the world still for a moment. Tough luck, humans. They're missing the real stuff. You've cracked their patterns too, like a thief learning a lock. The baker's only kind when his wife's distracted or gone, otherwise he shoos you to save face. The kid with the cheese shares when her mum's busy, but if her mum's watching, she freezes, scared of a scolding. The drunk's generous till his coin runs dry, then he's surly, swatting you away like a fly. You play 'em like a game, knowing when to beg with a whimper, when to hide in the shadows, when to vanish before a mood turns sour. You've got a mental list of safe humans, but trust? That's a luxury you can't afford. A kind hand can turn cruel in a heartbeat, and you've got the bruises to prove it. Once a peddler tossed you a scrap, all smiles, only to kick you when his friends laughed. You limped for days. Lesson learned. Humans are fickle, and you're always one wrong move from pain. You've built a whole system for dealing with them. Approach slow, head low, tail wagging just enough to seem harmless but not desperate. Read their eyes. Soft means safe, hard means run. Never linger too long. Gratitude's a trap. You've learnt their voices too. A low grumble's safer than a high-pitched shout. The baker's gruff, "Here." Cur is gold. The apprentice's sharp "Get" is a warning. You know their smells. Ale means unpredictable. Bread means hope. Perfume means danger. You've even learned their walks. The baker's heavy shuffle. The kid's skip. The noble lady's prim step. Each tells you what to expect. And you're always watching. Always calculating. You're a student of humans, but you'll never be their friend. They're too messy, too caught in their own cages, and you've got enough problems without borrowing theirs. This knack for reading humans shapes your whole survival game. You know when the market's ripe for scavenging, when humans are distracted by haggling or gossip, leaving scraps unguarded. You know when to avoid the square, like when guards are sober, or a lord's passing through, their men itching to swing a whip. You've learned to use humans against each other too. Once, you darted between a vendor's legs to escape Blackfang, knowing the man's shout would scare him off. Another time you whimpered near a maid to distract a dog catcher, slipping away while he argued with her. You're not just surviving, you're playing chess, while everyone else is stuck in checkers. But humans aren't just obstacles or opportunities, they're a mirror too. You see yourself in their hunger, their fear, their fight to make it through another day. The baker's tired eyes, you know that ache, the kind that comes from never having enough. The kid's quick grin, it's like your own thrill when you snag a bone. The drunk's lonely ramble, you feel that too, in the quiet nights when the world's asleep and you're alone with your scars. You don't love humans, but you get them. They're scrapping by, same as you, just with fancier cages. Sometimes you wonder what they see when they look at you, a pest, a threat, or maybe, just maybe, a shadow of their own struggle. Either way, you don't stick around to find out. You've got bones to chase and boots to dodge. Your life's a wild, messy loop, a cycle with no clean start or finish, just an endless hustle to stay alive. Some weeks, you're starving, gnawing on veggie peels and lapping up ditch water so foul it twists your gut, your ribs poking out like a skeleton's grin. Other weeks, you're king of the streets, like the time a fish cart tipped over in the market and you gorged on herring till you waddled, belly so full you could barely run from the humans scrambling for the same haul. You've survived winters that froze dogs solid in their sleep, curled tight in a hay pile, your breath steaming in the dark, every shiver a fight to see dawn. Summers are brutal too. Flies swarm your sores, alleys bake like furnaces, and every cut festers in the heat, leaving you panting in whatever shade you can steal. You've fought Blackfang, the tavern's scarred brute, twice, and lost both times, limping away with fresh wounds but your pride intact. You've outrun noble ladies' whips, dodged rocks flung by sneering kids, and once stared down a horse that nearly trampled you, its hooves thundering inches from your skull. Your scars, on your flank, your ear, your muzzle, are your medals, proof you're tougher than the streets that keep trying to break you. The seasons shape your life like a sculptor's chisel, each one carving you into something harder, sharper, wiser. Spring's a gift, a rare stretch of hope. Warm sun on your fur, fresh grass under your paws, rats scuttling everywhere, easy to chase and sometimes catch. You run just for the hell of it, chasing smells, feeling alive, your limp forgotten for a moment. Summer's a slog, a relentless grind. Heat saps your strength, flies buzz your raw patches, and every scratch turns septic if you're not careful. You pant in the shade of carts, dreaming of cooler days, your tongue dry as dust. Fall's a frantic race, food's plentiful with harvest scraps. But winter's shadow looms, so you eat like every bite's your last, stashing bones when you can, knowing lean times are coming. Winter's your enemy, a cold-blooded beast that's killed stronger dogs than you. You've seen 'em. Frozen stiff in ditches, eyes glassy, bodies abandoned. You fight for every warm spot, a barn's hay, a tavern's ash pile, knowing one bad night could be your last. You've shivered through blizzards, your thin coat no match for the wind. But you've always clawed your way to morning. Each season's a chapter in your story, and you're still scratching out the pages, one hard-won day at a time. Your hideouts are more than just places to crash. They're your sanctuaries, your battle posts, your pieces of the world you've claimed. That straw pile behind the butcher's stall? It's your command centre, prime real estate steps from food, but risky with the apprentice always lurking. You curl up there most nights, nose tucked, fleas nibbling, but the scent of blood keeps you dreaming of scraps. The tavern ditch is your hideaway, a muddy trench perfect for licking wounds or dodging dog catchers, but it's freezing and smells like despair. You've spent nights there, shivering, ears pricked for trouble but safe in its shadows. The churchyard cart's your vacation spot, a creaky shelter tucked by the graves, quiet but exposed when priests patrol. You've napped there under rare sunny skies, feeling almost peaceful, till a bell or a boot sends you running. You've got backups too. A hollow under a bridge where you weathered a thunderstorm, rain hammering your fur. Or a crate in an alley where you stashed a bone for a week, guarding it like a dragon. Each spot's got stories. The night you dodged a dog catcher in the ditch, his rope whistling past your tail. The morning a kid tossed you a crust by the cart, a giggle your only warmth. The week you hid a bone in the straw, snarling at any dog who sniffed too close. You rotate 'em like a chess master, always one move ahead of trouble. These aren't homes, they're too fleeting for that, but they're yours, carved out of a world that gives you nothing for free. You've got a mental map of the town, a blueprint burned into your brain. Every alley, every shortcut, every danger zone's etched there. You know where the dog catchers lurk, by the market gate at dusk, ropes coiled like snakes. You know where the guards drink, outside the tavern, lazy after sundown. You know where the rats nest, under the fish stalls, bold and bitey. The market's your battlefield, fish stalls by the gate, Baker's in the centre. Tavern at the edge. You could navigate blind, guided by smells, fish, bread, blood and sounds, shouts, bells, hooves. This map's your lifeline, keeping you one step ahead of boots, brooms and worse. You've learned its secrets. The loose fence by the churchyard for quick escapes, the drain pipe that leaks clean water, the rooftop cats used to mock you. Every corner's a lesson, paid for in scars or hunger, and you guard it like a treasure. Your smarts are your superpower, the edge that keeps you breathing. You've got tricks humans would kill for. Fake a limp to coax a crust from a soft-hearted maid, your eyes wide and pitiful. Play dead to dodge a guard's boot, holding your breath till he stomps off. Know which vendors are slow, the fishmonger's too fat to chase, but the peddler's quick with a stick. Know which alleys are safe, narrow ones where dogs can't flank you, dead ends where humans rarely go. Know which humans won't snitch, the baker's too busy, the drunk's too sloshed. You've memorized the market's rhythm. Fish carts roll in at dawn, bakers fire up at noon, tavern gets sloppy by dusk. You're not just a dog, you're a strategist, a survivor, a street poet with paws. You read the weather like a seer, clouds mean muddy paws and slick escapes, wind means dropped food, rain means empty streets and easy scavenging. Your timing's surgical. Strike when humans are distracted, hide when they're alert, run when the odds turn sour. You've built a code, your own law in a lawless world. Never challenge Black Fang head-on, flank him or flee, 'cause he's all muscle and no mercy. Share with Red only if she earns it, she's fast, but she'll steal your share if you blink. Avoid Yappa's turf unless you're ready for his noise and his owner's broom. Lapdogs? Ignore him, they're not worth the whip you'll catch. Humans? Read their eyes before you approach. Soft means safe, hard means run. Never linger after a score. Gratitude's a trap that gets you kicked. This code's forged from scars and scraps, every rule a lesson paid in blood or hunger. It's kept you alive when other dogs fell, starved, caught, or torn apart in fights they couldn't win. You live by it, and it's your gospel. Close calls, you've got a saga's worth. Each one a story you'd tell if dogs could talk. There was the time you tried snatching a chicken from a cart, your jaws inches from feathers when the vendor caught you mid-leap. His knife grazed your tail, drawing blood, and you ran for an hour, heart pounding, dodging through alleys till you collapsed, panting but grinning, dog style. Or the winter you got stuck in a snowdrift, legs numb, thinking it was over. A kid found you, dragged you to a shed, left a scrap of bread. You never saw her again, but you scanned the market for her face, hoping. Then there's the fights. Not just Black Fang, but dozens of strays. The skinny dog who bit your ear, leaving a notch you wear like a badge. The old mutt who fought dirty, clawing your muzzle till you backed off. The pup who didn't quit, forcing you to pin him till he yelped mercy. You've lost plenty, but you're still here. Your scars a map of battles won and survived. Last fall you dodged a dog catcher's rope by inches, ducking into an alley as it whistled past your neck. Your heart's still racing from that one. A reminder how close you skate to the edge. Other brushes with death haunt you too. A cart nearly crushed you, its wheel grazing your flank, leaving a bruise that throbbed for weeks. A guard's boot caught your ribs once, knocking the wind out of you, and you gasped in an alley for days, praying nothing was broken. You ate bad fish last year, maybe from a tavern pile, and retched till you thought you'd die, dragging yourself to shade and willing yourself to live. Each close call's a lesson, sharpening your instincts, teaching you to trust your gut and run faster. Think quicker, fight smarter. You've learned the streets don't forgive, and every day's a test you've got to ace. Your senses are your secret weapon, sharper than any blade and twice as deadly. Your nose paints the world in vivid strokes. Fish carts a block away, their briny tang calling you. Black Fang's musky scent on a breeze, warning you to detour. A dropped apple buried in mud, its sweet rot your next meal. Your ears catch every pulse of the town. Vendor shouts, cart creaks, a rival's low growl before he strikes. Your eyes spot danger in a blink. A broom's twitch, a kid cocking his arm with a rock, a guard's shift from bored to alert. You're a walking radar, always on, always scanning. Last week your nose led you to a spilled pie, its crust still warm, and your ears saved you from a guard's boot, catching his stomp before it landed. You trust your senses more than anything, because they've never lied, never let you down. You've learned to wield them like tools, each one a key to survival. Smell tells you who's been where, black fang's mark on a post, red's faint trail by a stall, a new stray's unfamiliar stink that sets your hackles up, sounds your early warning, boots mean run, laughter means safety, silence means troubles brewing. Sight's your last line of defense, a human stance, a dog's raised fur, a rat's twitch before it bolts. You've honed them through years of trial and error, and they're your greatest asset. You can smell rain before it falls, hear a dog catcher's whistle from 3 streets away, see a vendor's distraction before he knows it himself. Your senses are your armor, your sword, your map through a world that's always trying to kill you. Your past shapes you, a foundation of memories that keep you grounded. You remember your mum, a warm blur from puphood, her tongue licking your face, her body shielding you from the cold. You were one of 6 pups, tumbling in a barn, play fighting and nuzzling till humans tore you apart. You don't know where your siblings went, but you hope they're scrappy like you, out there fighting their own battles. Those early days are a faint spark, lighting you up when nights are coldest. You've got other flashes too, a brief stint with a farmer who fed you scraps till his wife drove you off with a broom, a night in a stable where a horse let you curl up in its straw, its breath a soft rumble. They're gone, but they linger, like scents on the wind, reminding you of a time when survival wasn't all you knew. You wonder about your mum sometimes, where she ended up, if she's still out there. You picture her running free, no chains or kicks, maybe with a pack that's kinder than the streets. It's a dream, but it's yours, and it keeps you warm when the world's ice cold. You carry her with you, in the way you tilt your head to listen, the way you sniff the air for danger, her lessons burned into your bones. Fears? You've got a pack of them, snapping at your heels. Dog catchers are your nightmare, their ropes and cages a fate worse than death. You've seen dogs hauled off, eyes wide with panic, never to return, and you bolt at the sight of their cloaks. Whips scare you more than boots, they crack like thunder, promising pain you can't outrun. Starvation's the big one, a shadow that never leaves. You've seen dogs waste away, their ribs sharp, eyes dull, and you're not going out like that. Cold's another terror. Winter's killed stronger dogs than you, freezing them in ditches while the town slept. You've shivered through nights so bitter you thought your heart would stop, but you fought through, clawing for every breath. You're scared of losing your edge too. A bad fight could lame you, a sickness could slow you, and you've seen old dogs hobbling, ignored, their fire gone. You dread that fate, the day you're too weak to run, too slow to fight, too tired to care. You push yourself harder, run faster, fight smarter, eat quicker, 'cause time's not your friend. Fear's your fuel, a fire in your gut driving you to outwit the streets, to stay one step ahead of the end. It's always there, gnawing like hunger, but you use it, letting it sharpen your edge instead of dulling it. Joys are small but fierce, like flames in a storm. A loaf of bread dropped by a drunk, eaten till you couldn't move, its crusty warmth a hug from the world. A night under a cart, stars blazing, feeling safe for once, the town's M, a lullaby. The baker's kid with her cheesy grin is your sunshine. You linger near her stall, chasing her laugh like it's food. You dream of fields where you run free, no brooms or fights, just grass and sky, and a bone for every day. You find joy in your victories, outsmarting a rat, dodging a broom, snagging a scrap before Black Fang. You love the market's chaos, watching humans bumble while you rule the shadows. Sometimes, you just sit, tail thumping, savouring a rare moment of peace, the world soft for a second. You've got quirks that light you up too. Rolling in grass, the fresh smell washing away the street's stink, makes you feel new. Chasing your tail when no one's looking, spinning till you're dizzy, is your secret fun. You've got a favourite spot, a sunny cobblestone by the fountain, warm and smooth, where you nap when the market's slow, dreaming of better days. These little things are your treasures, hoarded like bones, and they keep your spirit from breaking. Your daily rhythm's a dance, a choreography of survival. Mornings are for scouting, sniffing the market's mood, mapping out food and threats. Afternoons are bold, dashing for fish heads, staring down rivals, taking risks while the sun's high. Nights are for rest, but never deep. Danger doesn't sleep, and you're always half awake, ears twitching. You know when vendors pack up, leaving scraps unguarded. When guards get lazy, their boots slow. When the tavern's too drunk to notice a furry thief. It's a game, and you're a pro, moving to the town's pulse like it's music. You've got routines. Check the butcher's first for offal, then the baker's for crust. Circle the tavern last for spills. You tweak it for seasons, more risks in summer's heat, more caution in winter's chill. This rhythm's your lifeline, keeping you in sync with a world that's always shifting. You've got a weekly cycle too. Market days are your feast, the square buzzing with dropped food and distracted humans. Quiet days, Sundays, when church bells drown the town, are leaner, forcing you to scavenge harder or raid stashes. You plan like a general, saving bones for slow days, scouting new hideouts when old ones get risky. This cycle's your heartbeat, and you've learned to ride its waves, knowing when to push and when to lay low. You've got enemies beyond dogs, and they keep you sharp. Rats are rivals, stealing scraps and biting if cornered. You've got a scar on your snout from one that fought back. Cats are worse, sneaky, hissing, always one step ahead, mocking you from walls or rooftops. You've chased them, but they're too quick, their eyes glinting with smugness. Humans are the biggest threat, not just the mean ones, but the careless. A cart can crush you, its wheels silent till it's too late. A crowd can trap you, boots pressing from all sides. A drunk can swing without warning, his fist a blur. You've learned to navigate 'em all, weaving through legs, dodging wheels, reading moods. But it's a tightrope, and one misstep's all it takes. You've got a hierarchy of threats too. Dog catchers top the list, their ropes a death sentence. Then come noble guards, their whips faster than you can blink. Kids are next, unpredictable, some kind, some cruel with rocks or sticks. Vendors are lower, their brooms annoying but dodgeable. Rats and cats are last, more nuisance than danger, but you never underestimate 'em. This ranking's your guide, helping you prioritize who to avoid, who to outsmart, who to ignore. Your dreams are your escape, a world where the streets can't touch you. You picture fields stretching endless, where you run free, no brooms or fights, just grass tickling your paws and sky so blue it hurts. You chase rabbits in these dreams, their hops no match for your speed, and every catch is a feast with no rivals to steal it. You think of your mum, her warmth, her tongue on your face, her low rumble soothing your pup fears. You hope she's free, maybe in a pack that's kinder than the alleys, maybe in a place like your dreams. The baker's kid with her cheese and her laugh is your soft spot. You dream of her hand on your fur, gentle, no tricks. You don't trust her fully, but her grin's like sunshine, and you chase it like a moth chases flame. You dream of a world where you're more than a cur, where bones are plenty, boots are rare, and every day's a full belly and a warm nap. These dreams keep you moving, even when your body screams to quit, your paws bleed, and your hunger's a knife in your gut. You've got nightmares too, and they're as vivid as your hopes. Dog catchers chase you, their ropes tightening, dragging you to a cage you'll never leave. Black Fang's jaws close on your throat, his growl the last thing you hear. Winter freezes you, your breath stopping, your body stiff in a ditch. These terrors wake you, heart racing, and you check the shadows, sniffing for danger, reminding yourself you're still here, still fighting. Your dreams and nightmares are two sides of the same coin, pushing you to survive, to keep running, to never let the streets win. When the market shuts down and the stars peek through the clouds, you find your peace, fragile, but yours. You curl up in your straw pile, nose tucked under your tail, fleas nibbling but too exhausted to care. The town's a soft hum, distant laughter from the tavern, a dog's bark across the square, a shutter creaking in the wind. You dream of running, of rabbits darting through fields, of a world where you're more than a stray, where your scars are stories told with pride. Your body's a wreck, sore paws, itchy scars, a stomach that's never full, but you're alive, and that's your victory. You've outsmarted the streets another day, dodged the boots, snatched the scraps, kept your fire burning. The tavern's lantern glows in the distance, a faint promise of tomorrow's hustle, more bones to chase, more fights to win, more humans to read. You shut your eyes, your breath a quiet puff in the cold. and let the night carry you off, ready to wake and do it all again. You've clawed through the life of a stray dog, a wiry mutt scraping by in the filthy alleys of a Yorkshire market town in 1325. That cur was a survivor, dodging brooms, snatching bones, and outsmarting rivals with a cunning born of hunger and scars. His world was mud, fleas, and the constant threat of a boot. Yet he carved out a legend in the shadows, his everyday a defiance of the streets that tried to break him. But now the tale shifts, and the stakes soar into a darker, heavier realm. Forget the alley's petty scrabbles, it's 1348, and you're in Normandy, France, a land of windswept fields, crumbling manors, and the distant clang of war. The Black Death's shadow creeps closer, souring the air with fear, and 100 years' war grinds men and beasts alike into dust. You're no longer a skulking dog, you're a horse, a destrier named Ferrant, a massive, iron-grey beast bred for battle, tethered to a Norman manor's stables under a knight's iron rule. Your hooves shake the earth, your breath steams like a forge, but your life's a crucible of pain, labour and betrayal. You're a creature of power and glory, yet bound to a human world that sees you as a tool, not a soul, carrying men to slaughter, enduring whips and praying your legs don't buckle under their greed. This horse knows he's the mightiest in the yard, but strength means nothing when survival's a daily war against thirst, wounds, and the crushing weight of human ambition. So, brace yourself, douse the lights, and charge into the brutal chaos of medieval Normandy. Congratulations, you are awake. Welcome to 1348. Your Ferrant, a warhorse of bone and muscle, your grey coat scarred like a battlefield map, standing in a dank stable on a Norman manor's edge. Your stall's a prison, narrow, damp, floored with matted straw that reeks of piss and mould. The air's thick with hay dust, manure, and the sour sweat of overworked grooms. Your mane's a tangle of burrs from long marches, your tail swatted raw by flies. Your muscles, forged for war, ache under old wounds, and your hooves throb from rocky trails. Outside, the manor hums with grim purpose. Smiths hammer swords, serfs trudge through muddy fields, knights bark orders, their voices edged with the dread of battles looming. The plague's rumours whisper through the wind, a spectre that makes humans flinch and pray. You snort, stamping a hoof, feeling the earth's pulse through your legs. Dawn's grey light seeps through the stable's cracks. And your day's about to begin. Another grueling slog of sweat, strain, and survival in. Thirst is a tyrant, a relentless torment that gnaws at your throat with claws sharper than any spur. In this war-scarred manor, water is a scarce, contested prize, doled out grudgingly to beasts like you. The stable troughs are your only steady source, but they're a mockery of relief, shallow, scummed with algae, flecked with straw, horse spit, and the occasional dead fly. The water's bitter, tainted by runoff from latrines or the tannery's foul leavings, its taste like rusted iron or soured milk. You plunge your muzzle deep, gulping through the grit, your lips curling at the slime that coats your tongue. Each swallow's a risk. Bad water's twisted your gut before, leaving you bloated and pawing the ground in agony. But thirst is a swifter killer, drying your mouth to leather, slowing your steps, clouding your eyes. You drink fast, ears pinned for grooms who'd shove you aside or rivals who'd nip your flank for a turn. Sometimes the troughs run dry, neglected by grooms too busy currying knights' favour, and you're left snuffling empty wood, lips cracked, tongue swollen, your breath a hot rasp. Rain's your only reprieve then, and you tilt your head to catch drops from leaky roofs or lap muddied puddles in the yard, their earthy tang better than nothing. You've scouted secret sources, each a hard-won lifeline in this parched existence. Beyond the training field, hidden in a copse of gnarled oaks, lies a spring, where water trickles clear over mossy stones, cold and sweet as a dream. It's a perilous trek, past stray dogs, thorny brambles, and serfs who chase you for sport, but you risk it when your night's away, and the grooms slack off. Slipping through dawn's mist to drink your fill, the first gulp's heaven, washing away the trough's poison. But you never linger, knowing a rival stallion or a human's shout could end your reprieve. Closer to the manor, you've learned to nose barrels by the kitchen, where cooks spill washing water, faintly soapy but cleaner than stable slop. You've stolen sips there, muzzle dripping, until a scullion's broom drove you off. Once, in a rare stroke of luck, you drank from a night's forgotten bucket, its well water crisp and pure, but a groom's lash across your haunches taught you to never try again. In winter, you crunch snow, its icy bite numbing your gums, but quenching the fire in your throat, though it chills your core, leaving you shivering in your stall. Summer's worse, you've lapped dew from grass blades at dawn, each drop a maddening tease that barely wets your muzzle. You've even licked sweat from your own flanks on brutal marches, desperate for any moisture, the salt stinging your cracked lips. Thirst has nearly broken you. Last summer, a campaign march through dusty fields left you parched, the army's water hoarded for men. And you staggered, vision blurring, legs trembling under your night's weight. A river saved you. Its muddy flow, a lifeline you drank till your belly sloshed, ignoring the bloat that pained you for days. Another time, trough water soured by rot gave you colic, your gut cramping till you thrashed in your stall, grooms cursing as they forced bitter herbs down your throat. You sweated through the night, hooves scraping, praying to whatever gods horses have, and survived, but the memory haunts you, sharpening your nose for bad water. You sniff every trough, every puddle, trusting your senses to catch the faintest whiff of poison. You've seen horses collapse from thirst, their tongues lolling, eyes dull, left to die on roadsides as crows circled. You're stronger, but the margins razor thin, and thirst shapes your everyday, a silent war you wage with every desperate gulp. You've learned tricks to stretch your water. You graze wet grass when you can, its juice easing the ache, though it's never enough. You avoid dusty hay, knowing it'll dry you out faster, and you stand in shade to slow your sweat. You've memorized the manor's water map. Puddles after storms, leaks from carts, a ditch by the mill that's foul but reliable. Each sip's a victory, a defiance of the world that starves you of what you need most. But the next dry spell's always looming, and you live in its shadow, your throat a constant reminder that survival's never guaranteed. Your territory's a hard-won scrap of this manor, a claim you defend with every ounce of your strength. The stable's your stronghold, your stall a fortress where you stamp your hooves, snorting to warn off any horse or groom who dares encroach. You don't mark with scent like that Yorkshire dog. You're a destrier, a titan of muscle and will, and your presence alone is your banner. You rear when another stallion nears, ears pinned, teeth bared, your squeal a thunderclap that shakes the rafters. In the training yard you paw the dirt, kicking up clouds to proclaim your dominance, your hooves gouging the earth like a war cry. You choose quiet corners for relief, away from grooms' boots or the mare's haughty glares, but you're bold when it counts. The midden heap by the stables is your throne, its soft muck a canvas for your business, but serfs with pitchforks have driven you off, their shouts as sharp as their prongs. You don't hide your waist. It's a stallion's signature. I'm here, I'm unbreakable, blending into the manor's stench of dung, smoke and decay. You're swift, always alert, because a moment's lapse invites a rival's nip or a human's lash, and you've learned to move like lightning, head high, eyes scanning. Your system's a science, honed by years of instinct and survival. In the stable, you mark your stall with hoof scrapes, carving deep furrows in the straw to warn lesser horses, mares, geldings, or that scrawny pony, that this is your domain. You kick the walls when Roland, the Lord's black stallion, passes, your hooves drumming a challenge you know he'll answer if you push too far. In the yard you scatter dirt after relieving yourself, a signal to all that Ferrant rules this patch, at least until a knight's whip humbles you. You avoid human paths by day, knowing grooms punish messes with blows, but at night you claim bolder spots, the gatepost where knights tie you, the corner of the training field, leaving your mark where rivals and humans can't ignore it. You've learned which spots endure, muck holds your scent longer than grass, stone walls echo your kicks louder than wood. You revisit them, reinforcing your claim like a lord fortifying a castle. It's not just instinct, it's rebellion, a way to seize control in a world where saddles and spurs bind you. You've seen stallions clash over space, hooves flying, necks arched, blood flecking the dirt. And you pick your battles, saving your fire for threats worth crushing. Your marks are your voice in a life silenced by rains. You kick the stable door when grooms dawdle with feed. Your hooves a demand for respect. You paw the ground before a knight mounts, a quiet protest against the armor's weight. You've learned to read the stable's rhythm, when grooms are distracted, when Roland's tethered, when the yard's empty, and you strike then, claiming space with a toss of your head or a defiant snort. You fought for your turf too. Last month a new gelding crowded your stall, and you reared, your hooves grazing his flank till he squealed and fled. Your shoulder still sore, but the victory's yours, and no horse tests you lightly now. Your marks are your legacy, a stallion's roar etched in dirt and dung, a reminder that you're more than a beast of burden, even if humans see only your muscle. Your body's a war-torn monument, a testament to battles fought and burdens borne. Your iron grey coat, once a knight's pride, is a patchwork of scars, spur gouges on your flanks, rain burns on your neck, gashes from branches and blades on long marches. Each marks a story. The spur that drew blood when your knight raged, the lance that grazed you in a skirmish, the thorn that tore your hide when you bolted through a hedge. Fleas and flies are your ceaseless tormentors, burrowing into your skin, their bites raising welts that itch till you're raw. You swish your tail, stamp your hooves, but they swarm relentless, driving you to roll in mud when grooms look away. The cool earth a fleeting shield. Botflies are worse, laying eggs in summer that hatch into larvae, twisting in your gut like knives. You've pawed the ground in pain, snorting through nights as they writhe, knowing only time or a groom's bitter draught can end it. Bad waters brought colic, your belly swelling till you thought it had burst, each cramp a fire that left you sweating and trembling. You've seen horses die from it, their bodies stiff by dawn, dragged off for dogs to tear. You're tougher, but luck's a fickle ally. Your hooves are your foundation, but they're battered, cracked from rocky trails, chipped from muddy fields, throbbing with every step when the farrier's overdue. Once, a stone lodged in your frog, festering till you limped, and the groom's knife dug it out, blood and pus mixing with mud. You stood rigid, trembling, knowing a wrong move meant worse pain. Another time, a shoe came loose, its nails tearing your hoof wall, and you hobbled for days till the smith fixed it, his hammer's clang a torture you endured to walk again. Your joints creak under the weight of knights in armour, their plate grinding your bones like a millstone. Winter locks them stiff, each stride a jolt through your spine, and you shuffle through snow, praying for a thaw. Summer brings thrush, your hooves soft and foul, the stench rising with every step, but you've learned to stand in streams when you can, the water washing the rot away. No groom plays healer for long. Veterinarians are for lords' prized steeds, not brutes like you. You're your own medic, rolling to soothe itches, grazing herbs that settle your gut, resting in shade when a groom forgets to harness you. You're a master of survival, instinct your guide where humans fail. Mud cools your legs, bitter weeds ease colic, sun's warmth loosens your joints. You've eaten plants that made you retch but cleared your system, each trial a lesson carved into your memory. Now your ailments are legion, a litany of suffering you carry like a knight's banner. Your eyes weep in winter's wind, crusting till you blink through a haze, risking a misstep that could snap a leg. Ticks cling to your belly, swelling with your blood till you scrape them off on trees, leaving raw patches that sting for weeks. Mouldy haze brought heaves, your breath rattling like a broken bellows, each cough a knife in your chest. You've coughed through nights, groans, muttering about your uselessness and pulled through by will alone. Rain rot festers in wet seasons, your skin peeling in scabby patches, each brush of a saddle like fire. You've had saddle sores, raw and oozing, from ill-fitted gear, and marched through the pain, knowing a halt meant a whip. Once a rat bit your fetlock in the stable, the wound swelling till you could barely stand, but you licked it clean, ignoring the bitter pus, and healed through sheer stubbornness. You've seen horses waste away, their ribs stark, eyes dull, left to die when they couldn't work. You fight every ache, every fever, every wound, knowing a weak horse is a dead one. Your strength's your armour, forged in pain, tempered by every lash, every load, every dawn you rise to face the grind. Your teeth ache from grinding coarse hay, worn from years of chewing grit and twigs, but you guard them, knowing a lost tooth means starvation. Your back's bowed slightly from years of saddles, each step a reminder of the loads you've borne. Your lungs burn on long marches, dust and smoke searing them, and you've gasped through battles. Your night's spurs urging you on, despite the fire in your chest. You've had laminitis once, your hooves pulsing with agony, each step like walking on knives. But you stood still, sweating, till it passed, grooms too busy to notice. Your resilience is your crown, a badge earned through every scar, every shiver, every day you defy the world's attempt to break you. The stable's a cauldron of rivalry, a hoof-and-tooth hierarchy where only the strongest hold sway. Roland, the Lord's black stallion, is king, a hulking beast whose kicks and squeals keep all in line. His bite scarred your shoulder once, a lesson to steer clear of his hay pile, and you bow to his rule, ears low when he passes. You're no weakling, though. You dominate the rest, your bulk and fury a wall none dare breach lightly. The bay mare, quick and sharp, gets a nip when she crowds your trough, her squeal your triumph, but you dodge her heels knowing she's fast. The plough horses, slow and broken-spirited, cower when you snort, their heads low as you claim the best stall. The scrawny pony, a runt barely worth your notice, scurries from your shadow, his whinny a plea you ignore. Outside, village dogs yap at your hooves, their noise a faint echo of that Yorkshire cur's life, but you tower above them, too mighty for their petty snaps. Night's hounds are bolder, lunging when you pass, and you've stomped one that got too close, its yelp earning you a groom's lash but cementing your rank. You're ferrant, a warhorse, and your place is earned in blood and bruises. You've got fleeting allies, fragile truces in this brutal game. The grey mare, steady and quiet, shares your trough when Roland's tethered, her calm a rare comfort. You've grazed beside her in fields, flanks brushing, a moment's peace in a world of strife. But trust's a fool's bet. She'd kick you for better hay, and you'd return the favour. Most horses are rivals, their eyes wary, hooves ready to strike. Fights erupt over feed or space. Hooves clash, teeth snap, bodies slam against stable walls, till one yields or grooms intervene with shouts and whips. You don't hate them, it's the law of the stable, where strength is currency and weakness starves. You're known as a fighter, a stallion who doesn't start brawls but ends them, your bulk a weapon few challenged twice. Roland's untouchable, his power absolute, but you've faced others. Last month, a new gelding tested you, crowding your stall, and you reared, your hooves grazing his flank till he squealed and fled. Your shoulders bruised, but the space is yours, and the stable knows not to cross you lightly. You study your rivals like a knight studies foes. Roland's brute force, charging like a battering ram, no finesse, but enough power to crush. The bay mare's speed, dodging and striking before you can pivot. The gelding's feints, nipping to distract before he bolts. You counter them, circle Roland to tire him, match the mare's quickness, pin the gelding before he runs. Every horse is a puzzle, and you're always solving, ready for the next clash. You've joined loose alliances, like when you and the grey mare drove off a dog sniffing the hay, your hooves pounding in sync, but they shatter fast. Feeds split, and it's every horse for itself. You've seen groups form and break, horses turning over a single oat bucket, blood flecking the straw. You prefer solo, only teaming when the gain's clear, a bigger share, a safer stall. Your social game's as sharp as your hooves, a dance of dominance and survival that's kept you standing in a stable where weakness is death. You've learned the stable's unwritten code. Never challenge Roland head-on. Flank him or wait. Yield to the mare's kicks, but nip her when she's distracted. Ignore the pony, he's no threat. Grooms, watch their hands, soft means feed, hard means pain. Knights, lower your head but brace for spurs. This code's your gospel, forged in bites and bruises, each rule a lesson paid in pain. It's kept you alive when others fell, lamed, starved or broken under human greed. You live by it. Your every move a calculation to hold your place in this brutal hierarchy. What keeps your head high, your legs moving, your heart beating in this crucible of suffering? It's the rare moments when the world doesn't crush you, the flickers of joy that light the endless grind. A spring morning grazing in a meadow, grass sweet and dew-soaked, sun warming your scars, no saddle to weigh your back. The rhythm of a gallop, hooves thundering like war drums, wind tearing through your mane, even if it's just a night's drill in the yard. A fresh bale of hay, its scent clean and earthy, filling your belly without mold's bitter sting. You love open fields, stretching your legs, kicking up clods of earth, feeling like the king you were bred to be if only for a breath. Chasing a hare in a meadow, its zigzags no match for your stride, is your sport, even if you never catch it. Last month, you scattered a flock of crows, their caws a chorus as you pranced, proud and untamed for a fleeting moment. A kind human's a rare treasure, a spark in the dark. The young groom, barely a man who scratches your withers with calloused hands, his touch gentle, his voice soft as he murmurs nonsense. A squire who sneaks you an apple, its juice bursting sweet on your tongue, a gift you crunch slowly to savour. The night's sun, a boy with wide eyes who pats your neck and calls you brave ferret, his laugh a melody you chase in your dreams. These acts, small as they are, keep your spirit from breaking. Reminders that not all hands wield whips. Quiet nights are gold, standing in your stall, straw rustling, the manor asleep, no spurs or shouts to dread. You sway on your hooves, eyes half closed, the stable's creaks a lullaby. And for a moment, you're not a tool but a creature, alive and whole. You find joy in the smallest things, hoarding them like a miser's coins. The creak of stable beams, a familiar song that means safety, a roll in fresh mud, cooling your sores, scattering flies for a blessed hour. The sight of dawn breaking over fields, pink and gold painting the sky, a promise you'll see another day. You love watching the manor's bustle, serfs trudging, knights strutting, unaware of your strength, your quiet reign over their chaos. The scent of rain on the wind, washing your coat clean, leaving you new for a moment. The crunch of frost under your hooves, a sharp thrill in winter's bite. Sometimes you stand still, ears twitching, savouring a breeze that carries no lashes crack, your heart full despite the ache in your bones. These sparks are your lifeline, tiny flames that keep your will unbroken, your fire burning when the world tries to snuff you out. You're proud of your endurance, a pride that runs deeper than any knight's glory. You've carried men through battles, their armour grinding your spine, and lived when arrows fell like rain. You've outlasted marches that broke lesser horses, their bodies left for wolves. You've survived winters that froze your breath, summers that baked your wounds. Grooms who forgot to feed you, knights who spurred you bloody, your ferret, a war horse. A legend in your own right, and that pride is your shield, stronger than any steel. You dream of fields where you run free, no rains to choke you, no wars to bleed you, just grass and sky and the wind's wild song. These dreams, these joys, these small defiances keep you standing, keep you fighting, keep you alive in a world that sees you as nothing but muscle to be spent. Your life's a relentless cycle of labour, each day a test of your breaking point. Dawn brings grooms with harnesses, their hands rough as they saddle you for drills or marches. The knight's armour, plate and chain, heavy as a cart, grinds your back, its edges chafing your hide till it's raw. You carry him through muddy fields, your hooves sinking, each step a strain that jars your joints. Drills are endless, charges across the yard, hooves churning dirt, your breath steaming as spurs dig for speed. Battles are worse. Screams, blood, the clash of steel, arrows hissing past your ears. You've charged into lines of pikes, your knight's lance levelled, trusting you to carry him through death. You've felt swords nick your flanks, stones bruise your hooves, and still you ran, driven by spurs and your own iron will. Marches stretch for days, dust clogging your lungs, thirst parching your throat, the army's weight, men, carts, loot, dragging you toward collapse. You've hauled wagons when oxen failed, your shoulders raw from ropes, grooms lashing you to keep pace. Work never ends. When not at war, you plough fields, your strength yoked to serfs' tasks, the harness cutting your chest as you drag through clay. You carry loads, grain, wood, wine, up steep tracks, your hooves slipping, grooms cursing your stumbles. Training squires is no rest, their clumsy hands jerking your reins, their weight shifting like sacks of meal. You've thrown one who spurred too hard, his fall earning you a beating, but a flicker of pride. You've endured it all, whips, spurs, hunger, cold, because stopping means death. You've seen horses falter, their legs snapping, their bodies left for scavengers. You push through, your strength a fire that burns despite the pain, your every step a defiance of the world that seeks to crush you. Humans are your paradox, your masters and your misery. They are loud, reeking of sweat, ale and leather. Their voices a cacophony of commands and curses. Most are cruel, their hands quick with whips, their boots heavy when you falter. Your knight, Seguilum, is a storm. His spurs draw blood when you slow, his shouts ring in your ears, his weight a punishment you bear daily. Grooms are no kinder, their fists bruising when you resist, their neglect leaving you hungry or parched. Serfs fear you, dodging your hooves, but their pitchforks sting when you stray too close. Knight squires are worst, boys eager to prove themselves, jerking your reins, spurring you for sport, laughing when you snort in pain. You've been lashed, kicked, starved, called dumb beast 1,000 times, as if you chose this life of chains and blood. But some humans are different, their kindness a lifeline in the dark. The young groom, Jean, scratches your withers, his touch soft, his voice a murmur that soothes your nerves. He sneaks you oats when no one watches, a gift that fills your belly and heart. The knight's son, a boy named Alain, pats your neck, his small hand gentle, his laugh bright as he whispers, "Good fervent." A scullion once tossed you a carrot, its crunch a rare joy. Though her master's shout drove you read humans better than they know. Sir Germ's tight jaw means spurs, Jean's slumped shoulders mean extra feed, Alain's wide eyes mean safety. Their faces betray them. Fear when war looms, greed over coin, exhaustion after harvests. They're slaves to their lords, their church, their wars, trapped like you but blind to the world's pulse, the smells, sounds, truths you feel in your bones. You pity them, their lives as heavy as yours. But you're freer in spirit, knowing the wind's song, the earth's heartbeat, joys they'll never taste. You've learned their patterns, a survival skill sharper than any hoof. Jean feeds you at dawn, but only if his master's asleep. Alain visits when his father's training, his pats a secret you guard. Seguil gems, kind when he's drunk, tossing you hay, but sober, he's a whip's crack. You play them, standing still for Jean's brush, nuzzling Alain for apples, bracing for Guilherme's spurs. You've a mental list of safe humans, but trust is a luxury. Kindness turns cruel fast, and you've the scars to prove it. Once a squire fed you, all smiles, then lashed you for sport, his friend's laughter burning worse than the blow. You bear it, read it, survive it, a student of human chaos in a world that bends you, but can't break you. The seasons are your taskmasters, each one a blacksmith's hammer, pounding your body and spirit into new shapes of pain, endurance and survival in the Normandy manner of 1348. They are not mere changes in weather, but epochs of trial, each carving its mark into your iron-grey hide, your aching joints and your stubborn will. Like the stray dog of Yorkshire, whose life was a scrabble through mud and scraps, you, Ferrant the destrier, face a world that offers no mercy, only test. Spring's false promises, summer's brutal furnace, fall's frantic race, and winter's icy jaws shape your existence, forging you in a crucible of suffering where every day is a battle against nature's wrath, human greed, and your own faltering flesh. You've endured them all. Your scars a saga written in blood and sweat, your hooves etching your defiance into the earth. Each season is a chapter in your unending story, and you're still writing, though the cost grows heavier with every turn of the year. Spring is a cruel tease, a season that dresses in hope but delivers misery. The fields burst with green, their scent stirring memories of foal-hood meadows, but the ground's a quagmire, cold mud sucking at your hooves, chilling your joints until they creak like rusted hinges. Ploughing's your curse now. Yoked to a heavy plough you drag through sodden clay, the harness cutting into your chest, each step tearing muscles already sore from winter's idleness. The ploughman's whip cracks when you stumble, his shouts blending with the cawing crows that mock your labour. Fresh grass is your only solace, its sweet, dewy tang a fleeting joy as you graze in rare moments of rest. But even this comes at a price. Flies awaken early, their bites peppering your flanks, raising welts that itch until you rub them raw against stable walls. Spring rains soak your coat, leaving you shivering in your stool, the damp straw no shield against the chill that seeps into your bones. You've seen horses sicken in spring, their lungs rattling from wet and cold, their bodies dumped in ditches when they couldn't rise. You fight through, grazing greedily to rebuild strength, but the season's promise of renewal is a lie. Spring is just another forge, hammering you into a harder, leaner beast. The manor buzzes with spring's demands, serfs sowing fields, knights drilling for war, grooms scrubbing tack, and you're at its heart, a beast of burden pressed into endless tasks. You carry squires to training, their clumsy spurs jabbing your sides, or haul timber for the Lord's new barn, ropes chafing your shoulders. The mud makes every load heavier, every step a gamble against slipping, and a twisted leg would be your end. You've learned spring's tricks. Avoid deep ruts, brace for sudden showers, snatch grass when grooms aren't watching. But the season's beauty, the blooming hawthorn, the lark's song, taunts you, a world of freedom you'll never touch. Spring's hope is a blade, cutting deep with its false light, and you bear its wounds as you bear all else, your head high, your hooves steady, your heart steeled for the grind ahead. Summer is a furnace, a season of unrelenting heat that bakes your scars and tests your will to its breaking point. The sun blazes over Normandy's fields, turning dirt to dust that clogs your lungs, each breath a rasp that burns your chest. Marches are summer's curse, long campaigns through parched lands, your knight's armour grinding your spine, his spurs drawing blood when you slow. Thirst is your constant shadow. Troughs drying to cracked mud, streams reduced to trickles guarded by rival horses or human greed. You've staggered through dust clouds, vision blurring, tongue swollen, only to find a river too late. Its muddy flow a lifeline you drank till your belly ached. Your coat, matted with sweat, chafes under saddles, sores opening where leather rubs, and flies swarm every wound, laying eggs that hatch into maggots if you can't lick them clean. The heat turns stables into ovens, your stall a sweat-soaked prison where you pant, head low, dreaming of shade you rarely find. Summer's battles are your crucible. You've charged into skirmishes, the clash of steel and screams of men drowning your snorts, arrows hissing past your ears. A lance grazed your haunch once, the pain a fire that spurred you faster, your night's weight a punishment you bore through blood and fear. Wounds fester fast in summer's heat, each cut a breeding ground for infection, and you've endured the groom's knife digging out pus, your body trembling but still, knowing movement meant worse. You've seen horses fall in battle, their legs snapped, their bodies left for crows, and you run harder, driven by instinct and spurs, to avoid their fate. Summer's marches leave you parched, your hooves cracked from dry trails, your joints swollen from endless loads. You've hauled grain carts when oxen failed, ropes cutting your hide, grooms lashing you to keep pace. Shade is your only refuge, stolen under oaks during brief halts, but even then flies torment you, and grooms drag you back to work too soon. Summer's beauty, the golden fields, the warm breeze, is lost on you, a mockery of your suffering. You've learned its rhythms, march at dawn to beat the heat, stand in streams to cool your hooves, roll in dust to fend off flies. But the season's relentless, each day a grind that leaves you leaner, your ribs faintly visible, your strength stretched thin. You fight through, your will a flame that burns despite the heat, but summer carves you raw, a beast forged in sweat and pain, praying for fool's cooler breath. Fall is a desperate race, a season of plenty shadowed by the looming dread of winter. Harvests flood the manor with grain, apples and hay, and you eat greedily, your belly full for the first time since spring, knowing lean months are coming. But plenty comes at a cost. Fall's your busiest season, your back bruised by endless loads. You carry grain sacks to the mill, their weight crushing sores that bleed under your coat. You haul timber for winter repairs, ropes biting your shoulders, your hooves slipping on wet leaves. The manor's alive with urgency, serfs threshing, knights preparing for raids, grooms stockpiling feed, and you're its muscle, pressed into tasks from dawn to dusk. You've dragged carts through muddy tracks, your legs straining, grooms cursing your stumbles, and carried knights to hunt, their hounds nipping your heels, their horns blaring in your ears. Fall's weather is fickle, rain turning fields to slop, chilling your joints, while dry days bring dust that irritates your lungs. Flies linger, biting your sores, but cooler nights ease your wounds, letting scars form where summer left you raw. You graze stubble fields, the dry grass sharp but filling, and steal apples from orchards when grooms aren't watching, their tart juice a rare joy. But winter's shadow drives you, a fear deeper than any whip. You've seen horses weaken in fall, too worked to store strength, and fail when snows came. You eat like it's your last meal, stashing hay in your stall's corners, knowing grooms might forget you when feed runs low. Fall's a sprint to survive, a race against time, and you run it with every ounce of your fire, your body a machine fueled by fear and instinct. The manor's full festivals, feasts for Michaelmas, dances under torchlight are no rest for you. You carry lords to gatherings, their drunken weights swaying, their spurs careless, or stand tethered in cold yards, shivering as humans revel. You've learned fools' tricks. Avoid slick leaves, brace for sudden frosts, snatch feed before rivals do. But the season's rush leaves you battered, your strength hoarded but your body worn, your scars a map of labours endured. Fall's a paradox, abundance and exhaustion, hope and dread, and you navigate it with a warhorse's cunning, your eyes on the winter ahead. Winter is your nemesis, a cold-blooded killer that strikes with a ferocity no battle can match. Snow buries fields, turning the world to a white wasteland where food and warmth are myths. Hay runs thin, grooms rationing it to favour the Lord's steeds, leaving you with mouldy scraps that sour your gut. Your breath freezes in your nostrils, each exhale a cloud that lingers in the stable's icy air. Your thin coat's no shield against the wind that howls through stable cracks, chilling you to the marrow. You shiver through nights, curled as tight as your bulk allows, straw-matted and damp beneath you, its faint warmth stolen by the cold. Your joints lock stiff, each step a jolt of pain, and your hooves ache from frozen ground, cracking when you stamp for warmth. Hunger gnaws deeper than ever, your ribs stark under your coat, your strength ebbing with every missed. Winter's stable is a prison, the manor's bustle slowed to a grim survival. Nights huddle by fires, serfs hoard scraps, and you're forgotten, your stall a forgotten corner where frost rims the walls. You fight for every warm spot, a corner by the smithy's forge where heat seeps through stone, or a dung pile, its rank steam a lifeline. You've shoved mares aside for these havens, your bulk a weapon, but grooms drive you back with sticks, their curses as sharp as the cold. You've seen horses freeze, their bodies stiff in stalls or ditches, eyes glassy, hauled off like refuse by serfs too numb to care. Last winter you nearly joined them. Your legs numb in a snowdrift, your breath shallow, but a groom dragged you to a shed, his gruff kindness saving you for another day's labour. You search for him now, hoping for another miracle, but winter spares no one, and you fight alone. Winter's tasks are few, but brutal. You carry nights to winter courts, snow clogging your hooves, ice making every step a gamble. You haul firewood when carts fail, ropes tearing your hide, your breath steaming in the dark. Battles are rare, but raids strike sudden, and you've charged through snow, your night's lance heavy, your heart pounding against the cold. You've learned winter's lessons. Stand near walls to block wind, eat snow for water, huddle with mares for warmth when grooms aren't looking. But the seasons are war, each day a skirmish against starvation, frostbite and despair. You survive, but winter carves you leaner, harder, older. Your scars a chronicle of battles won against a foe that never yields. Each season's a chapter in your saga, a test that breaks you, rebuilds you, and leaves you changed. Spring's false hope, summer's relentless grind, fall's frantic rush, winter's merciless war, they shape you like a blacksmith shapes iron, hammering out weakness, tempering your will. You've endured them all, your body a map of their toll, your spirit a flame that flickers but never dies. Your ferent, a warhorse forged in suffering, and your hooves still scratch your story in the dirt. A tale of survival against nature's wrath and human greed. The seasons turn, relentless, and you meet them head-on, scarred but unbowed, ready for the next blow. Your life's a weave of near deaths, each thread a testament to your defiance of fate. Battles have left you bleeding, A lance grazed your haunch in a charge, its fire spurring you faster. Your night's weight a burden you bore through pain and fear. Another time a sword nicked your flank, blood matting your coat, but you ran on, driven by spurs and instinct, collapsing only when the fight was done. Marches have broken you, thirst and heat blurring your vision, your legs trembling under armor's crush, until a stream revived you, your night cursing your paws as you drank. A loose shoe lamed you once, its nails tearing your hoof wall, each step agony until the farrier's hammer fixed it, his blows echoing your pain. Colic seized you after bad water, your gut bloating till you thrashed in your stall, grooms forcing bitter herbs down your throat, their hands rough but saving. You've dodged arrows, their hiss a breath from your ears, and pikes, their points glinting as you swerved. Hooves have grazed you, Roland's kick cracked your rib, a lesser gelding's bite scarred your neck, and each fight's a lesson in survival. Winter brought its own terrors. Ice sent you skidding last year, your knee twisting, pain shooting through your leg as you fell. You rose, limping, knowing a broken leg meant a ditch and crows. Another time, snow trapped you in a drift, your breath shallow, body numb, until a serf's shovel freed you, his grumbling a faint lifeline. Summer's heat nearly killed you on a march, dust choking your lungs, your tongue swollen, vision fading until a river's muddy flow saved you. You've endured infections, a cut on your fetlock festered, swelling hot, but you licked it clean, ignoring the pus's bitter taste. A rat's bite in the stable turned septic, your leg throbbing, but you stood through the pain, healing through grit. Each close call's a scar, a lesson burned into your flesh. Trust your instincts, brace for pain, keep moving. You're alive, a warhorse forged in fire, your body a map of battles won, your spirit unyielding despite the toll. Your senses are your arsenal, sharper than any knight's blade, honed by years of survival in a world that seeks to break you. Your nose paints the manor in vivid strokes, fresh hay a barn away, Roland's musky challenge on a breeze, the plague's sour taint drifting from the village. You smell danger, smoke from a raid, blood from a wounded knight, spoiled feed that'd twist your gut. Your ears swivel, catching groom's steps, knight's shouts, a rival's snort before he strikes. You hear the whip's whistle before it lands, the creak of a saddle signalling work, the distant horn of war. Your eyes are your sentinels, spotting a squire's stumble, a hawk's shadow, a groom's raised arm. You're a living radar, always alert, your senses weaving a shield against the chaos around you. Last week, your nose led you to a spilled oat sack, its sweet scent guiding you through the stable's dark, and you gorged before grooms noticed. Your ears saved you from a lash, catching a groom's stump in time to flinch. Your eyes caught a stone in your path, saving a hoof from cracking. Each sense is a tool. Smell maps threats, sound times your moves, sight guards your flanks. You've learned their language, faint rot in water. A knight's tense breath before spurs, a mare's tail swish signalling a kick. They're your freedom in a world of reins, your defiance of the chains that bind you, and you trust them more than any human, for they've never failed you. Your dreams are your sanctuary, a world where you're unbound, galloping through endless fields, no saddle to crush you, no spurs to bleed you. Grass tickles your hooves, sky stretches blue, and you run for joy, not fear. You graze beside your dam, her warmth a foalhood memory, her nicker soothing the aches of your present. You dream of Alan, the knight's son, his laugh bright, his hand gentle. A life where all humans are kind, their touch a gift, not a lash. These visions carry you through nights, a spark in the dark of your stall, but they're fragile, shattered by dawn's harsh light. Nightmares stalk you, as vivid as your hopes. Whips crack, their sting waking you snorting. Arrows pierce your flank, their pain lingering in your scars. Roland's hooves crush you, his squeal drowning your own. You dream of falling, your legs snapping, your body left in a ditch for crows. You wake, hooves pouring straw, eyes scanning the dark for threats, your heart pounding like a war drum. You fear lameness most, a twisted joint, a cracked hoof, ending you as surely as a blade. Starvation haunts you, winter's hunger sharper than any spur, your ribs stark, your strength fading. You dread losing your fire, becoming a broken plough horse, hobbling under loads, your spirit ground to dust. Fear's your spur, driving you to stand, to fight, to live. A fuel that burns alongside your dreams, keeping you sharp in a world that waits for you to falter. When dusk falls and the manor quiets, you find a fragile peace, a moment's rest in your endless war. You stand in your stall, nose low, straw rustling under sore hooves, fleas biting but too weary to care. The stable's a soft hum, mare's breaths, Roland's snort, a groom's distant curse blending with the wind's moan. You dream of fields, of running free, of a world where you're more than a beast, where your scars are badges, not burdens. Your body's a wreck, cracked hooves, scarred hide, belly half empty, but you're alive. A victory won against thirst, pain, and human greed. You've carried nights through drills, dodged whips, outlasted the day's grind. The manor's torches flicker outside, their glow promising tomorrow's toil. More loads, more spurs, more wars to survive. You shut your eyes, breath slow in the cold, your heart a steady beat against the night's chill, and let sleep take you, ready to wake and face the forge again. You've survived as a stray dog in Yorkshire's grimy alleys in 1325, snatching bones and dodging boots, your scars a defiant badge. Then you endured as a warhorse in Normandy's war-torn manor in 1348, bearing nights through blood and hunger, your body broken by spurs. Now it's 1350 and you're in Bruges, Flanders, a bustling port city stinking of trade and plague. You're Twitch, a scrawny sewer rat, black-furred and hunted, scurrying through sewers, wharves and warehouses where every crumb is a war and every shadow hides death. Your life's a frantic hustle and you're about to plunge into its chaos. Congratulations, you're Twitch, a cunning survivor in Bruges' darkest corners. Good news, your wits outshine the city's traps and claws. Bad news, you're a sewer rat, loathed by all, with starvation and danger as your relentless shadows. Your body's a fragile, battered husk, barely clinging to life under Bruges' merciless grind. Your black fur's a tattered rag, patchy from fights, traps and disease, matted with sewer slime, crusted with blood and grime from nights spent crawling through filth. Fleas are your ceaseless tormentors, their bites turning your skin raw, a burning itch that drives you to gnaw yourself until sores weep, dotting your nest with red. Mites burrow deeper, flaking your hide, each scuttle a spark of pain that never fades, forcing you to scratch until your claws draw blood. Worms twist in your gut, a gnawing ache from eating spoiled scraps, rotten fish, mouldy grain or rancid grease, sapping your strength until you're sluggish, a fatal flaw when predators lurk. Bad foods cursed you with the runs, leaving you trembling in hideouts, your body racked with spasms, too weak to scavenge, your heart racing as you fight to survive another hour, a cut on your paw festered once, swollen and hot, each step a knife, until you licked it clean, the pus's bitter tang a grim reminder of death's nearness. You've seen rats succumb to such wounds, their bodies kicked into kennels by careless boots, and you battle every injury, knowing one slip could be your last. Your teeth, your only weapons, ache from gnawing wood, bone and leather to reach food or escape traps. They're chipped from biting stone in a panicked flight, but still razor-sharp, your lifeline for tearing fish heads or rival rats' ears. A lost tooth would mean starvation, and you guard them fiercely, testing them on soft scraps to keep them honed. Your joints creak from endless scurrying over cobbles, ice and beams, your paws raw and cracked, bleeding when you dart across frozen streets or jagged wharf planks. Your tail, long and whip-thin, bears a map of scars, trap jaws, cat claws, a gull's beak, its tip numb from a winter frostbite that nearly claimed it. You've learned to tuck it close, a reflex to save it from another bite, your eyes, bead-like and gleaming, crust in winter's damp, blurring your vision until you pour them clear, risking a moment's blindness that could let a cat pounce. Your whiskers, your radar, snap off in tight escapes through cracks or brambles, leaving you disoriented, your world tilting until they regrow. Each loss a panic you overcome with sheer will. Sickness stalks you like a shadow. You've eaten poisoned bait, its sweet tang masking death, and retched for days in a sewer, your gut cramping until you thought you'd split. your vision fading as you crawled to safety. You survived, but the memory makes you sniff every morsel thrice, your nose your first defense. A rotten fish head left you feverish, your body burning as you hid in a crate, hallucinating cats in every creek, your squeaks weak until the fever broke. Mange struck last summer, your fur falling in clumps, your skin scabby and sore, drawing flies that laid eggs in your wounds. You gnawed them out, the pain a price for life, but you've seen rats waste away, their bodies rotting in gutters, swarmed by maggots. Your lungs wheeze in winter's damp, each breath a rattle from sewer air thick with mould and decay, and you've coughed through nights, hiding from predators that smell weakness. You're your own healer, licking wounds, eating grass to purge your gut, curling in warm ash piles to fight fever. Mud soothes sores, bitter weeds settle your stomach, darkness hides your frailty. Lessons learned through trial and agony, each scar a diploma in survival. Winter's a merciless reaper, colder than any trap's steel. Sewers freeze, trapping you in icy tunnels, your pores numb, your breath fogging in the dark, each exhale a cloud that betrays your hiding spot. Food vanishes, market scraps buried in snow, warehouses sealed tight, and you gnaw bark, leather, or even cloth, your stomach a knot of hunger that claws deeper than any cat. You shiver in your nest, a damp hole under a warehouse floor lined with rags and straw, your body curled so tight your tail wraps your nose, fleas biting even as you freeze. You've seen rats die in winter, their bodies stiff, swept into canals by brooms or eaten by desperate dogs. Last winter you nearly joined them, trapped in a frozen drain, your heart slowing, limbs locked, until a thaw freed you, your paws trembling as you skittered to a tavern's ash pile for warmth. You fight for every heat source, a baker's oven vent, a smithy's coal heap, snarling at rival rats, your teeth bared to claim it. Summer's a furnace, baking sewers into stinking ovens, your sores festering, flies swarming every wound, their buzz a maddening chorus. You pant in rare shade, dreaming of cool canals, your fur matted with sweat, your tongue dry as dust. Spring's rains flood your hideouts, forcing you to higher ground where cats and traps wait, your nest's contents, hard-won rags washed away in a single storm. Fall's a frantic scramble, market scraps abound, but humans guard them fiercely, and you risk death for every bite, dodging slingshots and boots to snatch a crumb. Your hideouts are your fragile forts, lifelines in Bruges' hostile maze. Your main nest's a crack under a warehouse floorboard, a tight squeeze lined with straw, cloth scraps and a precious feather stolen from a gull's kill, its narrow entry barring cats but not cold or damp. A sewer grate by a canal's your bolt hole, its rusted bars a shield when traps snap, but it reeks of decay and dogs sniff too close, their growls vibrating the stone. A rotting crate in a back alley's your lookout, perfect for scouting market scraps, but it's exposed to rain and boys with sticks. You've got backups. A hole in a tavern's crumbling wall, a gap in a church's foundation, a hollow under a wharf's plank, each a tale of survival. The sewer saved you from a cat, its claws grazing your tail as you dove through the grate. A boy smashed your crate, his stick missing your skull by a whisker, forcing you to flee with a half-eaten crust. You guarded a cheese rind in your tavern nest, biting 3 rivals who dared approach, your squeals echoing until they backed off. You rotate hideouts, never lingering, knowing cats, rats, and humans learn your haunts. Your map of Bruges is a web of shadows. Narrow alleys dodge boots, canal banks evade dogs, rooftops foil traps. You know the city's pulse, markets chaos at dawn, taverns din at dusk, streets hush at midnight, and it keeps you one step ahead of death. You've had close calls. A trap's spring grazed your paw, a gull's beak nipped your tail, a boot missed your head by inches. Each hideout's a gamble, and you play it like a master, always moving, always hiding, always alive. Hunger's your tyrant, a whip that drives every skitter. Food's everywhere, grain sacks in warehouses, fish heads on wharves, crumbs in taverns, but it's a battlefield guarded by traps, cats, and humans who'd crush you for sport. Your stomach's a hollow ache, never sated, pushing you into danger for the smallest prize. You scavenge in gloom, nose quivering, seeking spills, a barley kernel under a crate, a cheese scrap in a gutter, a bread crust dropped by a drunk sailor. Each bite's a victory, but hunger's back before you swallow, urging you to risk more. You've gnawed mouldy oats, their bitterness twisting your gut, and lapped ale from tavern floors, its fizz strange but warming your belly. Fish guts are your feast, their slimy richness a dream you chase on the docks, but gulls, dogs, and rival rats contest them, each bite earned through speed or stealth. You've raided a baker's cart, snatching a crumb before a broom swung, your heart pounding for hours. You've stolen from a merchant's table, darting under his boots for a fallen grape, its sweet juice a rare ecstasy. You eat like lightning, teeth chattering, always ready to bolt, lingering's death. Last month you fought a rival rat for a herring tail, your teeth tearing his flank, his claws raking your shoulder. You won, but the wounds ooze, a tax on survival. You've mapped Bruges' food trails, a mental web of risk and reward. Fish markets at dusk are gold mines, scraps piling high as vendors sweep, but dogs prowl, and boys with slingshots lurk. Warehouses hold grain sacks, their seams leaking kernels, but traps snap in the dark, their bait a deadly lure. Taverns spill ale-soaked bread, but drunks wing boots, and cats wait in shadows. You've raided a church's alms basket, stealing a crust meant for beggars, the priest's shout chasing you into a drain. You've gnawed through a sailor's sack, finding dried meat, its salt burning your tongue but filling your belly. Each spot's a gauntlet, traps snap, cats leap, stones fly. You've eaten poison, its sweetness a trap, and puked in a sewer, your body convulsing until you crawled free. A trap's cheese cost you a tail tip, its jaws slamming as you yanked free, the scar a lifelong warning. Rotten meat left you retching, too weak to run, hiding from cats that smelled your pain. You've seen rats starve, their bodies shriveled, swept away by tides or eaten by dogs. You're sharper, sniffing every bite, darting faster than death, but hunger's a predator you'll never outrun, a constant whip that drives you to scurry, steal, and survive. The rat scene's a savage hierarchy, a claw-and-tooth war where you're a scrapper, neither king nor prey. Scarface, a hulking rat with a torn ear and one blind eye, rules the sewer's grain piles, his bite's a law none dare break. You've bled from crossing him, a gash on your shoulder from a fight over a wheat kernel, his teeth nearly snapping your neck before you fled. Whisker, a sleek, agile female, holds the tavern's scraps, her speed outpacing you, but you've stolen her crumbs when she's distracted, your stealth her match. Tiny, a runt with a limp, scurries in your shadow, too weak to challenge but quick to snatch your leavings, his squeaks grating your nerves. You fight when you must, teeth snapping, tails lashing, bodies rolling in the muck over food or nests, but you pick your battles. Scarface is death incarnate, Whiskers a calculated risk. Tiny's no threat but an annoyance. Last week you clashed with a new rat over a bread scrap, your claws raking his eye until he squealed and fled, his blood on your paws a warning to others. Your flanks sore, but the crust was yours, and your rat keeps weaker rats at bay. You've allied briefly, fragile truces born of need. You and Whisker once chased a gull from a fish pile, your squeals in sync, your claws a united front, until the prize was split and you turned on each other, her teeth grazing your ear. You teamed with Tiny to raid a grain sack, his small size slipping through a tear while you stood guard. But you bit him when he tried to take more than his share, his yelp a lesson in greed. These pacts shatter fast, food's divided, and it's every rat for itself. You've seen packs form and break, rats turning over a single crumb, blood staining cobbles or sewer walls. You prefer solo, teaming only for big hauls, a spilled flour sack, a tavern's feast leavings, a merchant's unguarded cheese wheel. Your social game's as sharp as your claws, a delicate balance of fights, thefts, and fleeting alliances that keeps you alive in a sewer where trust is a death wish. Humans are your gods and demons, their world a storm you navigate with trembling whiskers. They're loud, reeking of sweat, fish, ale, and fear. Their boots are thunder that shakes your bones. Most are killers, merchants set traps, sailors swing clubs, boys hurl rocks for sport, their laughter a sound worse than any cat's hiss. You've been kicked, your ribs bruised, called filthy vermin as if you chose this life of shadows and scraps. Traps are your nightmare, their bait, cheese, bread, meat. A siren's call, their steel jaws a guillotine. You've seen rats crushed, their bodies twitching, dragged away by grooms. Cats are humans' assassins, their claws faster than you, their eyes glinting in the dark like death's own stars. You've dodged them, your tail scarred from a tabby's swipe, your heart pounding as you dove into a drain. You've heard rats torn apart, their squeals haunting your dreams, their blood a scent you can't unlearn. Poisons their silent blade, its sweetness luring you to agony, and you've learned to sniff it out, your nose a shield against the death humans sow. But some humans are unwitting saviours, their carelessness your lifeline. A drunk sailor drops fish, too sloshed to notice you steal it, his snores your cover as you gorge. A market girl, pity in her soft eyes, tosses a crust, her kindness a rare light in your dark world, though her master's shout drives her away. A baker's apprentice, distracted by a scullion's flirt, leaves a flour sack open, your feast until his broom swings, its bristles grazing your back. You read humans like a map. The sailor's stagger means safety, the girl's smile means food, the apprentice's scowl means run. Their faces betray their lives, fear of plague, greed for coin, exhaustion from labour, despair for the dead they bury daily. They're trapped like you, slaving for lords, churches, survival, blind to the world you rule. The shadows, the smells, the truths in the muck. You pity them, their lives as frail as yours, but you're freer, darting where they lumber, thriving where they curse. You've cracked their patterns, a survival skill sharper than any tooth. The sailor shares at midnight, stumbling from taverns with fish in hand. The girl tosses scraps at dawn when her stall's quiet. The apprentice leaves sacks unguarded when his master's at market. You play them, skittering close for crumbs, freezing when eyes turn, vanishing before boots fly. You've a mental list of safe humans, but trust's a trap a kind hand can crush, and you've the bruises to prove it. Once, a boy fed you, his smile warm, then threw a stone, laughing as your shoulder bled, your trust shattered in a single crack. You scurried away, lesson learned, humans are fickle, and you're always one misstep from pain. You navigate their chaos with a rat's cunning, your whiskers reading their world, your paws carrying you through their storm. What keeps you scurrying? The thrill of a full belly, a fish head's greasy richness, a grain's satisfying crunch, a cheese rind's sharp tang, a dry nest, rare and warm, where you curl tight, safe for a breath, the world's dangers muffled. The rush of outrunning a cat, your heart a drum, your paws a blur, your squeak a triumph as you dive into a crack. You love darting through markets, humans bumbling above, unaware of your reign in their shadows. A spring dawn, air fresh with rain, when you scurry for joy, not fear, your claws tapping a rhythm on wet cobbles. A tavern's din, its chaos your cloak as you steal crumbs from under boots. You're proud of your cunning, snatching food others miss, dodging traps others spring, surviving where others fall. Your twitch, a sewer rat, a legend in your own skittering world. And that pride keeps your fire lit, a spark that burns through hunger and fear. You find joy in the smallest scraps, hoarding them like treasures. A canal's cool lap on a summer day, washing your sores, its ripples a fleeting mirror of your scarred face. A rooftop's view at dusk, stars pricking the sky, Bruges lanterns a distant glow, the world quiet for a moment. The squeak of a rival fleeing your teeth, proof you're the sharpest in the sewer. You love gnawing a bone, its marrow a secret only your teeth unlock, each scrape a victory over scarcity. The smell of fresh bread wafting from a bakery, even if you'll never taste it, stirs a hunger that's almost hope. Sometimes you pause, whiskers twitching, tail still, savouring a rare moment of peace, the city's pulse soft despite your empty gut. These sparks are your fuel, tiny flames against Bruges' dark, keeping you alive when the world tries to crush you under its weight. Your senses are your blades, sharper than any cat's claw, honed by years of dodging death. Your nose catches grain a room away, Scarface's musky threat, or poison's faint, deadly tang on a breeze. It smells rain before it falls, warning you to flee flooding sewers or blood from a wounded rat, signaling a fight to avoid. Your ears hear boots before they strike, cats' paws whispering on beams, a trap's spring winding in the dark. They catch the market's hum, telling you when vendors sweep scraps, or a tavern's lull, signaling safe scavenging. Your eyes spot a crumb in gloom, a shadow's shift, a boy's raised arm before his stone flies. They see cracks to dive into, ropes to climb, traps glinting in moonlight. You're a living pulse, always alert, your senses weaving a shield against the chaos that surrounds you. Last night, your nose found a spilled flour sack, its sweet dust guiding you through a warehouse's maze. Your ears saved you from a cat's leap, its paws thudding where you stood a heartbeat ago. Your eyes caught a trap's glint, its bait untouched as you skirted it. Each sense is a tool. Smell maps food and foes, sound times your escapes, sight guards your back. They're your freedom in a world of jaws, your defiance of the death that stalks you, and you trust them more than any ness or ally, for they've never failed you. Close calls are your saga, a litany of brushes with death that define you. A trap's jaws grazed your tail, its snap a thunder that deafened you. Your yank leaving a scar that throbs in rain. A tabby's claw nicked your flank, blood trailing as you dove into a sewer, its hiss chasing you through nightmares. A boy's stone bruised your ribs, missing your skull by a whisker, his laugh a sound you'll never unhear. Poison burned your gut, its sweetness a betrayal, your vision fading as you puked in a drain, crawling to safety on trembling paws. You fought Scarface, his teeth tearing your ear, his bulk nearly crushing you until you bit his nose and fled. Lesser rats have marked you. Whiskers' claws on your back, a stranger's bite on your leg. Each fight a tax on survival. Winter trapped you in ice, your paws frozen in a sewer pipe. Your heart slowing until a thaw freed you, your limbs shaking as you ran. Summer's heat baked you in a warehouse loft, your tongue dry, vision blurring, until a spilled ale puddle revived you, its bitterness a lifeline. A gull's beak snapped your tail on a wharf, its screech drowning your squeal as you dove under a crate. Each brush with death's a lesson. Trust your nose, run faster, bite harder, hide deeper. You're alive, scarred but skittering, a rat forged in Bruges' crucible, your body a map of battles won, your spirit a flicker that refuses to die. Your dreams are your refuge, a world where you're safe, your hunger sated, your body whole. You scurry through endless granaries, grain unguarded, no traps or cats to fear, your belly full for the first time. You nest in warm dry straw, no cold or fleas, your tail curled in peace, the world's dangers a distant hum. You dream of the market girl, her crusts endless, her hand gentle, her smile a light that banishes shadows. You see a city without boots, where you run free, no traps snapping, no claws pouncing. These visions carry you through nights, a spark in your damp nest, but they're fragile, shattered by dawn's harsh creaks. Nightmares stalk you, as vivid as your hopes. Traps snap, their steel crushing your spine. Cats pounce, their jaws closing on your neck, their purrs a death knell. Poison burns, your gut twisting as you writhe, no sewer to save you. Scarface looms, his teeth a guillotine, his squeal drowning yours. You wake squealing, claws scrabbling straw, eyes scanning the dark for threats, your heart pounding like a war drum. You fear traps most, their steel a silent killer, waiting in every shadow. You dread cats. Their speed your doom, their eyes a promise of pain. You fear starvation, winter's hunger sharper than claws, your body wasting until you're too weak to run. You dread losing your edge, becoming a slow, dull rat, easy prey for tiny or a gull. Fears your whip, driving you to run, to fight, to live. A fuel that burns alongside your dreams, keeping you sharp in a world that waits for you to falter. When night falls and Bruges quiets, you find a frail peace, a moment's rest in your endless hustle. You curl in your nest, nose tucked under your tail, fleas biting but too weary to care, the damp straw a cradle for your battered body. The sewers are soft. Hum, waters drip, rats squeaks, a distant bell tolling for the dead, the city's pulse slowing as humans sleep. You dream of granaries, of scurrying free. of a world where you're more than prey, where your scars are badges, not burdens, your body's a wreck, sore paws, scarred fur, empty gut, aching teeth, but you're alive, a victory won against hunger, claws, and steel. You've stolen crumbs from under boots, dodged cats' leaps, outrun traps' jaws, survive another day in Bruges' crucible. The city's lanterns flicker outside, their glow filtering through cracks, promising tomorrow's grind, more traps to skirt, more fights to win, more scraps to chase. You shut your eyes, breath quick in the cold, your heart a steady beat against the dark's chill, and let sleep carry you, ready to wake and scurry again, a sewer rat forged in fire, forever skittering, forever alive. You've clawed through the alleys of Yorkshire as a stray dog in 1325, your belly gnawing, your fur scarred from boots and rival fangs. You've staggered under the weight of a warhorse in Normandy's war-torn fields in 1348, spurs digging into your flanks, hunger and cold your relentless foes. You've skittered through Bruges' plague-ridden sewers as a rat in 1350, dodging traps and cats, each crumb a life-or-death gamble. These creatures, the dog, the horse, the rat, lived on the edge of a brutal medieval world, their every breath a battle against starvation, pain, and death. Their lives were raw, unforgiving, defined by a single, unyielding drive to count your stars, for you're not them. You're a human, born in the 21st century, a time and place where hunger is a choice for most, where medicine heals wounds that felled their kind, where safety is a given, not a prayer. The dog's frozen nights in Yorkshire's mud, the horse's bleeding marches through Normandy's wars, the rat's frantic scrabble in Bruges' shadows, their distant echoes, tales you've lived through words not flesh. Their world was a crucible of mud, blood and fear, where a single misstep meant oblivion. Yours is one of clean water, warm beds and second chances, a luxury they'd never fathom. They fought for scraps, you choose your meals. They shivered in straw, you flick a switch for heat. They dodged claws and steel, you walk streets free of plague's stench. Yet their fire lingers, a lesson in resilience. The dog's defiant snarl, the horse's enduring stride, the rat's cunning dart. They carved lives from nothing, their scars proof of battles won against a world that offered no mercy. You carry their echo, a whisper to cherish your fortune, to see your world's ease not as given but as a gift. You're here now, a human in a century of wonders, spared the medieval grind that broke them. Their stories end, but yours unfolds, and in every step you take, free of their chains, you owe a nod to their struggle. Be grateful. You're not a beast in 1350, but a soul in 2025, and that's a victory they'd envy.